Welcome, I'm Melonie Nielsen. This is Yoga with Melonie. Today we're going to do some mobility play with our squat pose. So just encouraging some movement, just encouraging some play within the pose. We're not going to hold the pose for extended period of times in one plane. We will play around in a variety of planes. So come meet me in standing. We'll probably do one of the hardest ones first and take our feet just a little bit wider than our hips and slightly turned out. And then just work on lowering, bending your knees a little and coming back up. Bending and coming back up. So what makes it really more accessible for your body to do a fuller version of the squat going down is what happens at your pelvis and your sit bones. So if we hold any tension around this midsection of our body, we're gonna have less mobility here. So our pelvis is designed to move as we move, and the sit bones should widen. You might even notice your tail going back and maybe a little bit of lumbar curve happening as you're bending. Now see if you can go even further, maybe all the way down. And some folks can't have the heels on the ground. They have to have the heels a little off the ground. That's fine. You could even have hands come to touch the floor for some stability. And then let's try to make our way back up. So let's do maybe 5 of these, lowering down to what degree you can, and then coming back up. Lowering down and coming back up, and lowering down and coming back up. Now the next one, stay down in the pose. And again, your heels could be lifted, they could be on the floor. I prefer on the floor, or you could put a rolled up mat or towel underneath you. And bow inside and just do a little leaning side to side into the ankles. Again, you could touch the floor if you wish. You could even imagine circling, so sending the weight into the feet in a circled fashion. You can even lift up onto the toes, go to one side, anchor down towards the heels, other side. As you go forward, you lift onto the toes. So you're making this circular type motion. And then let's do it to the other side. We'll circle. And one more. Let's be neutral and hands on the floor if you need, or if you can, we'll do without hands. We'll roll one leg in and then the other leg. And let's go side to side. And let's do one more to each side. And back to center. And touch down and do a little bow and round in. And then a little opening back up. And you can actually even place your hands on the back of the head and do a little bowing forward and back up. Of course, unless you need to touch the floor, bowing forward and opening back up. And bowing forward and opening. And again, bowing forward and opening. Now touch one hand down. I'm going to do what looks to be for you the right side and turn open to the left side. So there's a twist. And then we'll go down, we'll turn open to the other side. And let's do a handful of those. Twisting open to one side, twisting open to the other side. Turning belly a little, turning heart a lot more, side to side. One last one. Back to center. Now let's bring our knees and our feet to touch each other, close in towards each other, and lower your heels down and lift your heels up. Down and up to what degree you can. Maybe they're just little tiny rocking motions. Down, up. If you need to touch the floor, you can. Then you can make it even more challenging. Go up to your knees and back to your heels, up to your knees, back to the heels, up to your knees, back to your heels, up to the knees, back to your heels. Let's do one more. And then touch down, and the feet are close together, but I'm gonna wave my knees out to the side, and then I'm gonna bring them back. I'm gonna take them out, bring them back, take them out, bring them back. So I'm on toes, then I'm a little bit on the outer edges of the feet, then I'm back onto toes, outer edges of the feet, back onto toes, outer edges of the feet. One last one. And now let's take the knees and feet apart again and bow the heart and head down and start to lift your hips. Let them lead the way to the sky. And then bend and sink into it again. So coming from the floor up in our squat. And let's do a handful of those. And let's last one. And now let's take the feet much wider apart, as wide as the yoga mat, and lift up. And have the feet, as they're wide, toes turn out, and squat a little from more of the upper bodies, hanging in between the lower body. My hips are much higher. And then straighten again. And then more squat the heart down. And straighten. And squat the heart down. And straighten. Two more. And then this next time, let's make our way all the way back up to stand. Enjoy. I hope that was interesting and fun, a little bit of play in our squat. And I will see you soon. Be well.